Where's the craziest place you ever been?
Craziest place I probably Tijuana.
Tijuana, Mexico?
Yeah. That is a whole nother
donkey show.
Filthier than any place. No, I was a little too young to see the donkey show, but I saw a lot of stuff just on the street. A lot of prostitution.
Right there in the open?
Poor little children. Yeah, little back alley action going on. I remember seeing a guy just full action. Not like, little foreplay action. Full action right next to a dumpster. And the girl was holding on to the dumpster with one hand and like turning around and watching the guy.
And how old were you?
Probably 12.
So what, Daddy took you to Tijuana, Mexico?
Yeah, and we were looking for some bar that he had maybe remembered going to at some point when he visited. And we were walking down some back little alleyway, and there was just, you heard the little, and I remember hearing the little dumpster wheel squeaking as it turned a little bit, because this Mexican was just, wow.
And I'm sure your dad, being a responsible father, covered your eyes and got you the hell out of there.
No, right? It was a big laugh, and hey, look at that. Hey, and then I'm sure he made some kind of a Mexican racist joke. And
for the new listeners, I'm convinced Anthony had the greatest dad ever.
Oh yeah,
ever. He got him. Yeah. He got him a girl at what age?
It was my 13th birthday.
13th birthday. I got a shiny 10-speed bike. Anthony got a whore.
I got. No, she was a 19-year-old friend of the family.
No, she was
friend of the family. No, we knew her for years. She was kind of loose, She was kind of loosey-goosey around the people that we frequented.
I was going to say, how do you think Dad knew that she was going to, give you a little action?
She was very popular around the stable, let's say, around the ranch.
Why? Was she funny?
Yeah. A load of laughs.
Is that why she was popular?
Without the laughs.
Was she good at Sudoku?
Yeah, really popular. She, one time she dragged me out of a restaurant out there in California because the original Mexican guy that she wanted to have sex with had passed out in his eggs. We were all having breakfast after a night of drinking. At 13.
And you were 13. Let's make sure.
And she was, rubbing this guy's leg and everything, and he had just fallen asleep in his eggs. And she kind of turned around and looked at me, and she goes, "All right, I guess it's you." And just grabbed my arm and took me out of the place. And my father went, "I'll see you tomorrow." And that was it. Back to the house.
Your dad was amazing.
For some action.
I wish I could have met him, man.
Oh, was he a rip.
What a trooper. You're just hanging out there drinking at 13 in a bar and then going home with one of the broads.
I get home from junior high. It was a short walk from Marco Forster Junior High. And I'd walk down to the stables where we kept our horses, and there would be my father and Uncle Chato, Tio Chato, our Mexican friend, just swilling these huge 40s of Bud, just drinking. And even at that age, I'm just like, why don't they work? Why? And they were always just complaining about unemployment running rampant. Oh, geez, it's so hard to. But it's like, and then he'd get like a job for a week.
I was gonna say, let's go look for jobs at the bar.
Let's go look for jobs. No, always getting in fights. Like 13 years old, and we'd pull into this underground parking garage under a place called the Franciscan, which is a big tourist trap because it was San Juan Capistrano, so it was just full of tourists.
Right.
See the Swallows and the Mission. And we'd get out, and they were constantly, like my father and all of his friends and everything, constantly just drunk and starting fights with the tourists because it's like a goddamn tourist. And constantly starting brawls. And I'd be like the little guy, so I'm the easiest target to go after for these tourists when the fight would break out. So, like, this big guys come running after me, and I have to, like, go bolting up these stairs. And then one time I turned around and kicked a guy, and he kind of fell down the stairs a little bit. And one thing I got to say, my father always did look after me during those altercations, because as the guy was trying to catch his balance on the stairs by grabbing the handrail, my father grabbed it by the hair and pulled him just off balance backwards, and then proceeded to smash his head on one of those parking blocks in the garage that stop your tire. And then all I know is, like, cops were everywhere throwing us all against the wall. And there I am, like, my hands against the wall, just a little guy getting frisked. took my little buck knife as my father was making faces at me next to me. It was just that.
What kind of faces?
Like sticking his tongue out and laughing. It was just it was a madhouse. It was a madhouse.
And I want to remind people, you were 13 years old.
13. He'd throw me the keys to the dune buggy.
Yeah.
Because, not a pot to whiz in or a window to throw it out of.
Right.
But we had to have, horses and dune buggies, although we moved every 6 months because, the landlord was banging on the door. So he'd toss me the keys to the dune buggy, and he'd been drinking, I'd been drinking. And just go, have some fun, Then I'd get all the girls from the stable, and they were like, 12, 13 years old, and they'd pile in, and I would just drive like 60 miles an hour down these riverbeds of Orange County. And plowing into bushes. I didn't know what I was doing. Could have killed like a whole carload of kids. We were constantly shooting guns. It was just the most dangerous situation for children to be placed in.
Hence,
ever.
The greatest dad of all time.
Yeah.
The greatest dad of all time.
It was an adventure. The biggest thing we did all year was our yearly trips out to the Mojave Desert, where we would just go out there and ride dune buggies and shoot big weaponry and shoot anything that moved. Until one thing that moved was, of course, I've told that story before, young Charlie Reyes.
Yeah, poor Charlie.
Charlie got shot on one of our outings by his father. His father was loading up a little pistol and shot him right in the shoulder. Looked like a heart shot. Just whole front of his shirt turned red. And, were we out in the middle of nowhere. Had to just load him in a pickup truck and drive him to...
And there was a waterfall of blood coming out, right?
Yeah, it looked like a water fountain. Never saw anyone get shot before or since. But I was looking right at him and heard the gun go off and was looking right at little Charlie. He was 9 at the time, by the way, 9. And when he got shot, he dropped his gun because everyone was armed. We were just armed to the hilt. He dropped his gun.
You guys were like a drunk militia.
Looked at his father and just went, oh, and fell to his knees, and it, came squirting out in a perfect red tube. It looked like it was actually red blood in a tube. It was perfectly circular and in a perfect arc that just pumped out. So we were like, oh, my God, Charlie's just shot right in the heart.
He's
That's
gonna
it.
Die any minute.
So all the drunk parents and everybody just grabbed, anything they could and packed it on the wound and ice, and then threw him in the back of a pickup truck and had to drive him to Arizona, because we were closer to the Arizona border than any city in California. We were 50 miles in off of a highway, so we were in the middle of the mountains. They were called the Old Woman Mountains. It was an abandoned silver and turquoise mine.
How cool is that?
And that's where we used to camp and drink tequila, shoot guns, and drive dune buggies. And that was the last time we ever went out there. That was kind of ended the Mojave Desert trips. But Charlie made it. He was fine. Last I heard, when I went out to California, when we went out, I visited Capistrano and asked about everybody, and he's fine. Richard's dead, but he's fine.
Well, yeah, your gay friend's dead. We'll get into that another day.
Poor Richard.
All right.
The boy that Anthony was seeing growing up.
He was not.
All right. We got Cokelogic checking in from Whackbag. When Opie found out women have a cycle, he climbed up an apple tree again.
Yeah, very good. People remember everything.
Well, see,
I climbed the apple tree.
I was a very innocent boy growing up. Extremely innocent.
Yeah.
Grew up with a very strict mom, so didn't get to really explore. Just kind of had to keep it close to the vest.
Not a lot of knowledge as far as
no. I just played my basketball every day, and there was a whole world going on, past my driveway. But to ask permission to get past my driveway was basically a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I matured a little later than most, and when I found out about the whole sex thing in Washington Drive School in 5th or 6th grade, I was horrified, and I ran home, and I ran up into an apple tree, and I stayed there all afternoon long.
Climbed an apple tree.
How all-American and perfect.
I know, that really is Norman Rockwell painting.
Well, what horrified me, I know we've told the story a bunch on the air, but it's worth bringing up again today. You're just a little kid playing soccer and wiffle ball and basketball and doing your little art projects, and not much heavy lifting going on, especially in grammar school. It's pretty easy, right?
Yeah. And
then you go to school one day and your whole freaking life and world changes. All of a sudden they're like, oh, we're going to do something a little different today. And all of a sudden they separate the boys and the girls. I'm saying something that a million people understand. And then you march into the gym in single file, guys on the right, girls on the left. There's a door in between you.
The big accordion door is shut.
And they show you the film. We need the music. The film.
The film. Yes, you know what that film is. Well, actually, a lot of people don't until they started rolling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what is this? We gonna watch cartoons?
Well, you're suspicious, though, because you're like, all right, why is it just guys, and why are the girls on the other side of the door? All right, so far we know we're seeing a film. What could this film possibly be?
Yeah.
That the girls aren't allowed to watch it.
Oh, well, let me watch it. Oh, no. This is the movie! Oh, no! I heard about this from the older kids.
And then these cool bastards, they tell you about stuff that you're not even going to be allowed to do for another 6 years in general.
Yeah.
Unless you're a lucky little fella.
You're going to have to remember all this info for when it actually comes about.
Yeah, you're like 11 or 12, and they're telling you about this new world out there, but you can't touch this new world for another 5 or 6 years if you're a good Catholic.
And they're always the kids with the creepy families who are pointing out what's wrong with the movie.
Yeah, right.
No, this is crap right here, what you're saying. Yeah. I'll tell you how to deal with this situation.
Well, those were the hippie families that, walked around their houses nude and stuff. Oh, I've seen this crap already.
You'll start to notice hair growing on certain parts of your body. And girls, you'll start growing breasts.
And they show some little fella trying to shave for the first time. And
this is where hygiene becomes very important.
Explaining what whiskers really are.
You're going to have to wash every day.
Your body
Wash your arms. Yeah, under your arms.
Your body is changing.
You'll notice hair growing on places that didn't have hair before.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It is. This is embarrassing.
And if I'm not mistaken, back in the day, because we're a little older, we got to see a little nudity with our film.
Yeah, it was like cartoon nudity.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see any real nudity. We used to have to...
Cartoon nudity was the bomb, though.
Invade the library to try to find, real nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes they'd have those. Nowadays, I guess they really kind of weed that out. But books in my library and, even elementary school, if you were clever enough and kind of took enough time to really look, you could find naked girls in there.
I used to find naked stuff in dictionaries.
Biology books?
Dictionaries.
Dictionaries?
Yeah, little sketches.
The little sketch?
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Would you look up V A?
No, just like
you wouldn't.
I'm
and then there'd be a picture of it.
No, I'm sure I did. I'm trying to remember what would get you to the naked sketches in the dictionary. Maybe something about pregnancy or something. So then you have a sketch of a pregnant woman.
Yeah, encyclopedias were good also.
Yeah,
because they used to have the entire encyclopedia set in the library, and you just break out one of those. Make like you're studying something, You're make like you're studying, I don't know, Virginia.
Yeah.
and then you'd pull out the old V, change a letter or two.
Yeah.
Comey, where's the C volume of the encyclopedia?
So then they, grammar, what birthday is this? Grammar school.
Grammar school.
Oh, nice.
It's like you're the Little Rascals.
Oh.
Well, people usually say grade school or just
grammar school, I would say.
Grammar school?
Didn't we used to say?
I never called it grammar school.
I think we used to say grammar school.
I called it elementary school.
Elementary school.
It was elementary school for me. Yeah, and then middle school, junior high, high school.
Whatever you call it. Anyway,
school. That's that I picture the single schoolhouse, the Little House on the Prairie kids going.
So then the film is over, and then the gym teacher or whoever the hell showed us the damn film in grade school said, "Well, we instructed your parents, if to ask you about the film and to help you along and help answer some of the questions you might have after seeing this film."
Yeah.
And that's when and then they gave us the rest of the day off because this was heavy lifting for an 11 or 12-year-old.
You had to wrap your mind around it.
You can't go, to gym class after that and throw the huge ball around.
No.
Or climb the ropes or anything. This was a serious day, so it was a half a day for everybody. And I ran home because my house was close to Washington Drive School out there in Centerport, and I proceeded because my parents knew that I saw the film. That I had to run up into the apple tree, and I stayed there for the rest of the afternoon, and my dad was at the bottom of the tree, I'll never forget it, trying to coerce me down.
Talk you down.
Saying, it's not going to be that bad. We'll keep it quick. Because I guess they were supposed to talk to you. Every single... Yeah. And I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with this. I just want to play my basketball. I'm not ready for this, man.
I had a similar experience because I went home and asked my dad, I said, Dad, I have a question. And he goes, yeah, your mom is a... I was like, oh, no, that's not what I want. Yeah, your son just came in here and he's asking me questions, but why don't you shut up, you X-face? Oh, give me a break, you bitch. Where's my whiskey? I saw a movie in school and I need help. This is because of you, Ro. This is why he cries all the time. It's your fault, Ro. Joe, he's sensitive because you're yelling all the time. Go yourself! What do you want to know? Yeah, I threw my into her, and you came out. That's all you need to know. Stop your crying. You're like a goddamn... That was my question and answer period with Dad. Then I think he threw some food against the wall.
And went out to...
I used to think that's how you served food. It was the first time I actually liked a girl and cooked for her. I lobbed it against the wall to show my love.
A little uncomfortable there, Anthony.
Yeah. What, are you on the same cycle as your mother, you fruit? Daddy, I have a question. Where do babies come from? Why do you have to ask? You're one. You're crying like one. You're a grown man. You're 7. Get a job. But I'm only 7. Have a shot, you puss.
When do we go to the ball game, Dad?
Can we go to the Met game? They're playing at Shea. No, I'm busy. What are you doing? Nothing. I got to go to the bar. I'm going to see my Gumar.
Just trying to get some strange.
Babies, they come from your mom's... Hey, all you need to know. Run into my room.
Slam the door.
Cry. Don't make me come in there. I'm crying already. Why would you hit me? Why hit me, Daddy? And he used to hit me with his belt.
Yeah.
And he'd have to say things as he hit me. Like, don't you ever do that again, because I understand the concept of the syllable, Dad. You don't have to beat it into me with your belt.
And you don't have to add more syllables.
Yeah. Because you were very bad today, and I don't think that was the proper thing for you to have done. Ow!
Dad, you're a little wordy.
Dad, yeah, so look, this is quite a wordy beating. Ow! You used to be angelic. Angelic?
Angelic.
Now you're just a... Get.
Can you give me the Cliff Notes beating, Dad?
Yeah, please. Could you edit this down? I'm really hurting.
You need an editor.
My hiney's hurting from your belt. It's not a puppet, Ro. It's a doll. Oh, that one I had to deal with.
What?
Oh, I was making a puppet when I was a kid. I wanted to make a puppet. A marionette type puppet. So I took like some paper towels and masking tape, and I made a puppet but I hadn't had the string and the wood to make it a marionette yet.
Right.
I was a kid.
He was Anthony. A little something about Anthony. He's obviously highly intelligent. He
Thank you,
and he
Opie.
never graduated high school because of his family life. And he
I had to smoke a lot of pot.
over the years he would tell me about his science experiments he used to do as a kid and how he would take things apart to see how they worked. Like he was very, very
alone.
You were very adventurous, though.
Yeah, I would build things and take things apart and chemistry sets.
Something really, really big.
Yeah, I could have been.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm here.
Yeah.
You should have been the little girl from Sixth Sense.
So you were making a puppet.
I was making a marionette puppet, and I didn't have the string. But I kind of made it, and I was kind of proud of it, and it was fun to, like, play with. And I wanted to take it because we were all going to the store. So I took it with me into the car. We all hopped in the car, and I took it out of the car once we got to the supermarket. My father goes, "What are you doing with that?" I go, "It's a puppet. I'm taking it inside." He goes, "It's not a puppet. It's a doll. You leave it in the car. I'm not going to have my son playing with a doll."
And then told your mom it was a doll.
And my mother's just like, "Joey, it's a puppet." "Bro, it's a f***ing doll." "You want him to be a f***ing kid?" "It's a doll, Ro." And I'm like, it's a puppet. I just need the string. "Yeah, you need a string? A pound string." Do I have to beep that?
No. Who knows?
Of course not. They come with strings.
Well, you wanted
A tampon. I'll beep string.
You wanted the puppet to kind of have that imaginary world around you.
Yeah, it was me and my puppet. Well, the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man and the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. Dad. No, we won't. You crybaby. Oh, was I always weeping?
And then
always.
And then you'll have a drink together.
My father yelled at me so bad when the car overheated in Flushing once. It was pouring rain. The car overheated. It stalled, and I was crying my eyes out. And he's aggravated because it's pouring rain. He's under the hood, and I'm just... And he's like, "What's wrong? Would you shut him up? He's just upset, Joey." "What, upset? He's a f***ing fruit."
He should have used your tears to throw into the...
Yeah, let me hold him over the radiator and just squeeze the tears out of him.
At least we could use these tears for something useful.
Oh, I got a cramp in my leg once, and it was so bad, and I was a kid, and I just screamed bloody murder. It was the first time it ever happened, and it felt like I was stabbed in my leg, and I screamed. I was like, "Wah!" And he goes, "What's the matter with you?" I go, I got pain in my leg. He goes, "It's a cramp." He goes, "If you ever make a sound like that again, you better have an arrow in you." What a baby.
No.
Just a baby.
I'm waving off that pitch. That is really funny.
No, my father didn't rip the puppet up, but I think I did take it inside with me. And my mom's like laughing at my father. Like for me, it was just a matter of, oh, I get to take my puppet with me. But between my parents, it was my mother going, "I won this one, ass. I won this one, Joey."
And I know your mom pretty well. She's an awesome lady. I'm sure
she's changed like light years from back then, too.
I'm sure behind closed doors, she like kind of gave you your puppet back and said, "It's okay, Anthony.
It's okay. It's a puppet.
Here's your puppet. You do whatever you want.
It's a doll, Rosemary." Doll, it's a puppet. I should have just turned gay just to really screw him up.
Right.
Should have turned.
I guess he didn't have an open mind as far as that stuff goes, huh?
Nah, not really. My father was so old school. It was just ridiculous. Talk about a lack of tolerance. Jesus Christ. I heard words that, by God, I still use. I heard... No, it's growing up in that house.
You heard words that they haven't even invented yet.
Mm-hmm.
For things.
Believe me.
All right, we got a break.
We do, but I was having fun with this show.
We got a break, Anthony.
Okay.
It's Opie and Anthony.
What kind of phone you got, Nick? I got a nice black rotary phone. Works terrific. 12-foot extension cord. My career's hopping. This is me calling my agent.
was that sound effect?
That's like,
I just did.
damn, that's
Multi-talented.
that brought me right back.
Sure did.
To Dad ripping it off the wall and throwing it.
Have you get hit with one of those?
Oh, Christ. Dad loved throwing things. Holy shit. The phone, the spaghetti.
Ixnay on throwing stuff.
He like put the, he put the spaghetti on the wall and then took the phone off the wall.
What?
He just didn't know what he was doing. Oh, the spaghetti
Wait, your dad
was
used to yank
constantly-
phones out of the wall?
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow, nice.
Go fuck, is there anything that
I
was
can respect
sticking
that.
out or something would be punched or thrown on the floor or broken?
Yeah.
It was like waking up and just going, okay, let's survey the damage today from the last night's argument that I sat there in bed crying over and didn't get to sleep. I woke up for school like I wake up for this show. I felt like I was like 8 years old, but I felt hungover and tired, just like I do when I come here.
I got a good joke. Well, your dad sounds like a real bull in a china shop.
Oh, Jimmy. Oh. It's not funny, Jim. New character. Yeah, so it was always just some kind of, you wake up and go, okay, there's some broken glass, watch out for that. Here's this. Is Smokey still alive, or did Dad, kick the cat?
There's a handful of mummy's hair on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, Mummy's hair is on the floor. One day, I just remember her, in the walk-in closet. She was because she used the tactics of the 300. She was thinking, if I go in a place that's a narrow pass, I could defend myself no matter what he lobs at me. So she's in there, and I just remember hearing, "Get out of here, fuckface! Get out of here, you fuckface!" And she called him fuckface so many times that it was just as a kid, I'm just going, she's using that way too much. She's a cursing hack. Fuckface. And then fuckface left.
God forbid, she doesn't have improv skills as things are being whipped at her head.
Yeah. You can bob and weave, I'll tell you that.
Get her into Second City, will you?
Oh, it's just always some blah, blah, blah. And it would start out we'd get sent to bed. It was in some shithole apartment in Central Islip. And we'd get sent to bed, so I'd be laying in bed, and you'd hear outside just kind of this low...
Well, I don't think it's worth it. But that's not a second. No, that's right. The body check of your country.
And it's through the walls, and then I'm and then I got a stomach ache to try to make him stop.
Oh my God, this is breaking my heart.
Oh, dude, I was the biggest little pussy fucking just crybaby. Oh,
what was the initial...
My brother would take it differently. He'd wait until they were in another room fighting, open up the liquor cabinet, and take a swig of Jack at 9.
Nice. Nice.
It's a good opportunity to get a buzz on.
Now, there was a time they were in love, so where did this all begin?
I wouldn't remember it.
You don't remember them ever being nice to each other and in love?
Not a second do
They're
I remember.
still together, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a marriage that lasted, 50 years.
Sure.
No, God, so fun. First of all, the second my father did leave,
yes,
he went to the furthest point without falling into the opposite ocean. He went all the way to Dana Point, California.
Yeah.
It was as far as you can go and stay dry and not have to take a ship.
They're both living in lighthouses on different coasts.
Yeah, Mom moved into the Montauk Lighthouse. There was just you can't even say a dislike, a this or that. It was a hatred.
Did he ever hit you?
Isn't it funny?
No,
they liked each other.
My dad smacked me once, but that was when I was in California. I was 14 or so, 13, and I had taken a bunch of quarters. And I think they were silver quarters, these old time quarters that who knows now they'd be worth fucking 28 cents. Who cares? But I was fucking starving constantly. Dad wasn't too responsible with feeding the kids, so I was just starving constantly.
Jesus Christ, who's your old man, Tyson?
Oh, he was just he just wanted to go out to California and be a cowboy. So he went out, he bought horses, figured out ways to board them for free from talking to people. He was my father could fucking swindle people. Really good at it. So He bought a horse, got him, people to board it for nothing. He was like the caretaker of this property. He never took care of. He just put free shit on there all the time. Horses, they were grazing on other people's fucking grass and shit. he didn't care. So, as far as jobs went, he was constantly unemployed and bitching about the economy, but everyone else was working. And him and his buddy Chato would sit there drinking tall boys when I came home from school. I'd walk to the stables, and there he is drinking a tall boy. And it's like, oh, no job hunting today, I guess.
Well, right.
So I'm like fucking starving. His wife, it wasn't his wife at the time, his girlfriend, Corey. She was, just the same, but she's working at some five and dime, barely making any money.
I lost you though. But you guys lived on a ranch? Or...
It was like, it was.
But you had no money.
No, we lived in a condo complex that was close to the ranch. The ranch wasn't like a ranch like the fucking Ponderosa. It was, it was a hillside with some horses and a trailer on it.
But who owned that?
Will Rogers.
Because you guys were there all the time.
Who owned the property?
Yeah.
San Juan Capistrano.
Also, anyone could go
town.
there.
And my father talked to the town and said, you need a caretaker here because motorcyclists are coming and cutting fences and stuff. And they said, all right, you want to do it? He's like, yeah, I'll do it for free if you let me board my horses.
Oh, so he was a Oh, wow, okay.
But he didn't take care of anything.
Right.
He just, kind of hung out. So I stole these quarters because I was starving and I remember I went to Thrifty Drug and Discount Store, which they have out there, and bought a nutritious box of ice cream sandwiches. and I ate every single one of them. And I did have a job earlier, and that's the money I used to buy like my model rockets and things like that. But my father was like, you took the quarters, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, why? And I told him, I said, I was starving. I bought something to eat. And he smacks me in the face and goes, no, you bought your goddamn fucking rockets with it, didn't you? And I'm like, I'm sitting there going, I'm being smacked because I was starving because you're drinking a tall boy instead of fucking buying some food.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it was horrid.
You got to make a movie.
And then I would take the bottles at the Vons that was there. They had a big cage, a chain link fence cage, where they would take the depositable bottles back, and then they'd put them in this big chain link cage behind the store until whoever came to take them away took them away. I would climb the fence, grab the bottles, bring them right back around front, and give them the depositable bottles that were in the cage, so I could then, buy more ice cream sandwiches.
The one thing
a triple scoop ice cream from Thrifty Drug and Discount Store.
By the way, people say
5 cents a scoop.
It's like the modern day Oliver.
Oh, it was horrid.
People are saying this isn't a bit anymore. It's a nightmare because we've heard the spaghetti hitting the wall too many times at this point. But you always give more info.
Oh, there's a little more info every time when I remember some fucking synapse connects in my head, and I go, oh, I remember that fucking piece of shit from my youth.
Now your dad was scared shitless that you would turn out gay. But how did he?
Because I was always a crybaby.
But how did he associate some of these things you were doing as maybe becoming gay?
Because I would cry at everything. I was like,
but like building like little model rockets and stuff, and
because I wasn't fucking girls.
No, but then
I was building rockets.
The model. He was
but
building
you were
the model.
11 or 12.
Opie, he's building the model rockets, and he was sitting on them.
I would shoot them up with my ass. I'd set it up horizontally and get on all fours.
Yeah, he left that part out of the story.
And he'd put 2 eggs on each side and then shoot it into his own face. And go, look, Daddy, you'll come.
He used to say I was in man training, he called it. He goes, that's part of man training. All right, here's a rifle and 1 bullet, go out and hunt. And if you don't get something, you don't eat for the night.
Jesus Christ.
But it's a shame.
Like fucking Paw Ingalls.
But Ann, it's a shame because you could have been like a rocket scientist or something. You had major skills as a little kid, and he didn't see it that way. He saw like, fuck that. I need my son fucking and drinking. And
what was the skills? He was just putting rockets together. You weren't fucking building real rockets.
No, but he was
real rockets.
Retards do that.
Dude.
Glue.
And
right, thank you, Bobby.
Estes rockets?
You gotta Bobby, you gotta know the whole catalog of stories he's told over the years. Like, the kid was ahead of everybody else in his age group. He was a very smart kid. But the dad didn't want anything to do with that crap.
He didn't like faggy stuff. Like guys crying. For me to cry was like ridiculous, and I was a big crybaby. I went into a horse show once. Took my horse, Nightmare, and the horse's name was called Nightmare.
Fucking big arch in its back.
And I was doing a cloverleaf barrel racing thing at a horse show.
Is that kind of faggy?
No, that's like...
I don't know.
It's Gymkhana. It's like fucking... It's pretty good shit.
Were you riding side saddle?
Side saddle with a dress.
Did you have a cape?
Sequin sports coat?
You have to, really tightly go around the barrels, these 3 barrels in a cloverleaf pattern, and then shoot through the timing
You
poles.
could do that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Right now you think you could?
Fuck yeah.
Holy crap.
That's like riding a bike.
The fuck, dude?
Guys get a house full of guns. He used to ride horses. What the fuck's going
And when
on?
I lost by like a couple of tenths of a second, and what did I do?
Take a while.
You cried. You cried.
Knock it off. And then I got a cramp in my leg once, and started like, I grabbed my leg and just screamed bloody murder. And my father's like, he goes, next time you scream like that, you better have a fucking arrow in your chest.
Oh, God.
And by the way,
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, he didn't.
What's your mother's name?
me.
Livia? Holy shit.
it's not like riding a bike, by the way.
No?
No, because when the bike comes in first, you don't suck the kickstand. Get it?
Of course I do.
Or stick.
What the fuck, man?
Oh, it's just one of those things. I don't.
It explains a lot.
And then driving with him, I've told that story where it was like there's a thing called the Ortega Highway. This should be in any fucking movie where something plunges off a cliff and explodes after falling thousands of feet.
Oh, Jesus.
It was the road from Capistrano to Lake Elsinore, and he used to drive it every so often. And when I drove with him, I was the most nervous wreck. He'd drive with Coors, just a can of Coors between his legs, and a 6-pack or 2 6-packs in a bag on the seat, and just constantly be drinking. When we got to Lake Elsinore, he's drinking, and then the ride back, all I'd remember is
on a curvy road
a
near a
curvy cliff road that you'd always hear about people dying on. And we'd be there just like nailing the edge as these giant Conrock cement trucks are coming down the other way, and I was just... I was scared shitless that every time we hit a light and had to stop, it was one moment where I could go and just breathe. And then the second the light turned green, I was like all tense again and nervous for 2 hours straight of just nerves like a chihuahua.
You were like Woody Allen and Annie Hall with Christopher Walken driving the car. You got to know the movie.
It was horrific, that drive. In an old Ford pickup truck. Like everyone else had like a pickup that was at least like 1970, something like
had
that.
Power steering.
And he had like a 66 Ford pickup truck where like it had the fender wells on the outside of the bed, and it was all rounded and curved, and he was constantly drilling holes in the engines and running tubes because the oil wasn't getting to a cylinder or something. And one time they shut the electricity off. Of course, he didn't pay the bill. He pulled the meter off and jumped the insulators that the electric company put on to cut your electricity off, and just stuck 2 wires in there, jumped the meter, put the meter back on, and we were getting power without the meter spinning.
So he had some positives.
He had some skills as far as getting shit paid, like not paying for shit.
Pat from Menachie writes, too bad good old dad didn't live long enough to see Aunt become a LARPer.
Yes.
Wow.
If he knew I was playing EverQuest. What are you doing that? Fuck men computer people things? Yes, Dad, that's exactly what I'm doing. If he was alive, I might have just gone gay to fucking, like, give him a little twist, little screw. I might have had to get my dick sucked by that Richard kid in the tree fort.
How did you not kiss that fucking kid? He was gorgeous.
He was gorgeous? Oh, beautiful boy.
Do you have a picture, Richard, to show Bobby?
You have a picture of a kid that you could have blown?
My sister said, no, I wasn't going to blow him. He wanted to blow me in the tree fort. We were sleeping out at the ranch one night. And me and my brother and stuff had built this tree fort. Yeah. So we were sleeping out, me and Richard. I had known Richard for years. We'd go fishing together and riding horses and shit. He was my best friend.
Right. He wanted to catch a mouthful of tadpoles.
Tommy Gills.
Yeah, Tommy Gills. Not talking about hooking any Tommy Gills. Talking about sharking. I'm talking about working for a living.
Talking about felching for a living.
Felching. Squeeze my balls. Tie my dick into a sheep shank.
Chief, man, ladies
tell
and
me
gentlemen.
how short you wanted it.
So you were in a tree fort with him?
A shot glass full of cum. Don't drink that.
Here's the swimming with bow-legged men.
Yeah. Show me the way to go, homo. I'm tired and I want to give a guy head.
I'll drink to your penis, you drink to mine.
Gonna need a bigger cock.
That tattoo?
That was the USSS Goo Governor. 12 fags in the water.
Yeah.
12 fags.
This Mr. Hooper was one of Rosie O'Donnell's fag cruises. Hear that terrible high-pitched screaming and hollering. Someone's getting fucked in the ass.
Sheets filled with blood.
You go in the water. Dick's in the water. Our dick.
Well, 3 days in,
I don't want to open that
body
shark.
pops up. A friend of mine from a gay bar.
Popped up ass first.
Herbie Hand likes to suck cock.
Yeah. He'd been fucked in the mouth and the ass.
I don't want to open up that shark and have a whole bunch of semen spill out all over the deck.
Hey, we took that one and ran it.
Yeah, we certainly did.
Nice.
Look, fellas, let's be reasonable. Let's not suck each other's dicks right here on the dock.
That was great, wasn't it?
Those bathhouses will stay open for the 4th of July.
Martin, my boyfriend was on that beach, too.
Sign the marriage certificate. Sign it, Mayor. You know it's the thing to do.
Uh-oh, we're losing Angel. She doesn't know Jaws.
Oh, Angel.
She's putting on a little lip stuff.
You look like Chrissy that gets eaten at the beginning. Lucky Shark.
Yeah, really?
Hairy Chrissy Bush.
Yeah.
Shark was picking hairs out of his teeth.
I know.
He was just coughing.
That's what fucking Quint was holding on to try not to get into the mouth. Chrissy's pubic hairs.
Fisher's like, this tastes like myself.
I'm never going to get the smell out of me. That old gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, Richard was, hot.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we had the, that's how it started, the tree fort thing, and the thing he wanted to, we were friends, we used to do a lot, hang out, and then, we decide, let's just hang out, we'll spend the night, we'll have a sleep out at the tree fort at the ranch, and I was sleeping there, we're hanging out, drinking a few beers and stuff, which I guess loosened him up.
31.
14.
14.
Maybe bordering on 15. Very close to 15.
I think you were a little younger.
Yeah, maybe 8. And so we're hanging out, and I'm kind of just sleeping at this point, or trying to go to sleep, and Richard leans over at this point.
What'd you have on?
I had everything on, my jeans, my everything.
All right.
I'm sleeping in my clothes.
Okay.
So Richard leans over to my ear and goes, "Can I suck your cock?"
Nice.
Out of nowhere.
Wait, how close to your ear was he?
Enough where I felt his warm, could have had chlorine breath.
Nice.
Yeah, and he asked me that. So I was turned around.
For 10 minutes.
I had jeans on, thank God, because I was turned around with my ass facing him.
Then you
my face was facing, yeah, like fucking Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Tree Fort.
I've been waiting for years. Fuck that ass.
So I'm looking at the wall of the tree fort.
Yeah.
And my eyes are like fucking open. I'm like, did I just fucking hear that? And just in case I didn't, he repeated it. I want to suck your cock.
Oh, he didn't ask. He said he wants to.
No, he said he wants to.
Right.
So I then
sucked his cock.
Yeah, I let him suck my dick.
Fat, huge snake, and
I lay there and just kind of went like.
Your dick got hard? You pretended you were asleep?
I made make-believe sleepy snort.
He's not a bear.
Shemp?
He's not a bear. You pulled the Shemp?
Oh, yeah. I figured that was my only defense against the male homo. Against the play possum, yeah. Play dead and he won't blow you. Pretty much what it was. And the next morning was a little awkward.
I would say
it's like, oh, rise and shine. It's 4:30 in the morning. I think I got to go home. Yeah. I made believe I was asleep the whole time.
So, did he know you heard him? How was he the next morning?
I think he was a little awkward about the whole thing, but I think he turned over, and I think he jerked off out the fucking door of the tree fort.
Would he do it in your name?
Yeah.
What, you see his,
he wrote Anthony's name in his cum.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
Because I could
see
hear
a squirrel with cum all over.
I could hear it, and kind of the tree was swaying a little bit.
Was your underwear sticking to your ass?
I was wearing clothing, Bobby Kelly.
Wildlife was losing weight rapidly. Fucking.
And it was one of those situations where the next morning was a little awkward.
Why didn't you cry? You cried at everything else. That's where you should have been crying.
At that point, I had gotten over my crying
He needed
phase.
the love.
I had manned
somebody
up.
loved him.
So you didn't even think about it.
No, I was already getting laid from the time I was like 13. Guy? Yes, by this other gentleman.
What was
by Buzz?
You don't want to cheat on
him? By Buzz, Christine, her name was. Chris.
What was your relationship with your dad at the end of his life? We've heard
good.
all these stories, but
no, pretty good. He totally mellowed with age. He wound up getting a pretty successful welding business that he had, so he was able to take trips, went to Hawaii and stuff like that, and buy new trucks. Welding rigs. He got a lot of contracts in Capistrano.
He's a survivor. The guy's a survivor.
And stuff. So he was until his ticker stopped.
Oh, when was that?
Survived that one. Back in like 94, something like that.
Oh, so he was a quitter.
Yeah,
I had the
he gave up. He finally just gave up. But it was just one of those situations where it was just always this turmoil going on.
I want to see this kid that wanted to suck
Richard? Where's Richard?
Why do you want to see this kid so bad, Bobby?
You can't not want
where's the gorgeous Richard?
You pull your dick out, look at the picture. Is he as cute as Sam? He made Sam look like a fat chick. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was awful going out, like hanging out with him, going out to the mall or something, because every girl was all over this fucking kid. And I was sitting there with like fucking cystic acne all over my face and fucking, just smelling like horse shit because I had just cleaned the stables and like I was just a wreck.
Write a book, will you?
I had to get a sense of humor. I had to, or my dick would fucking never have gone into a girl. Ever.
Oh my God.
I would have fucking, if I had no sense of humor, I'd have taken that blowjob in a second. Would you suck? Yes, suck my cock, please. Somebody, I didn't know what he was going to say. He was going to say, could I suck on a fucking Jolly Rancher you have? And I'm going to be like, what about my cock?
That's not good fun.
A cock. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I have a fucking 10 books in just my childhood.
Funny shit.
It's insanity what went on.
Start writing.
My mother finally, when I decided to come back out to New York, my mother sent my father money for plane fare. My father cashed in the tickets and puts his kid, who is fucking like 14 years old, and his other kid 15 on a Greyhound fucking bus. We spent 2 weeks going cross country with male hookers, fucking degenerates, all kinds of shit, and gave us $100 for a 2-week trip to go cross country, which we promptly tried to double in Vegas.
Which you wasted on the male hookers an hour into
the male hooker, because then I was thinking, the blowjob sounds pretty good about that.
Keep the timber in a treehouse.
And then Joe had tie stick that he was bringing back, and then when we stopped at the Port Authority, a cop instantly took us thinking we were runaways. So we had some chick from, where the hell was she from? I don't even remember, but she went and took the bag. There he is.
No way.
That's young Richard. That's when he was older. That's after I left. He was like, I think, 18 there. He was a model. And, and a beard for Christy McNichol, by the way.
You had a blowjob from
right? Yeah, they used to go out like that.
Why didn't you take head from him? He probably gives great head.
He probably would.
Jesus Christ, what kind of show am I on here?
He went, and then he went completely gay.
We're talking about...
And he's dead now from AIDS.
Well, you can tell this by his hair.
He's dead?
He's dead, yeah.
You got no shot. Yeah, but you had it before he had AIDS.
Yeah, I know, right?
You had a nice fresh
I knew him,
Richard.
right? Fresh meat. Before. He probably got it he was probably the first one. Like someone fucked a monkey and then he fucked him. Yeah. Paul Lynn.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard.
When they thought it was cancer.
When did he die?
Oh, my God.
How long ago did
he
die?
He died in like 2000. I didn't even know until like fucking 2 years ago.
He died.
I said, so how's Richard? And, let me tell you about that. If you want a blowjob now, it's going to be a little bony. It's going to be a toothy one.
It's not even gay.
Oh, my God. Fucking the shit that falls on you out of caves in every Spielberg movie.
I hope his parents aren't listening.
No. I think they're probably not too proud anyway.
They're walking around with the same glasses Woody Allen's parents wore and take the money and run with the fake nose.
Quite an adventure.
Smoking. So with that set up, what's the haps with Sam?
I don't even know how we got there again.
Sam
always goes to my almost blowjob in a fucking tree fort.
I know, the regret.
Sam, you go to the tree fort?
But every time Anthony tells a story, he gets closer to telling the real truth. And that's what I like about the retelling of the story.
Believe me.
It's just going to be like, all right,
perhaps
we learned today that he did
perhaps if he wasn't such a good friend at the time, you know, if it was just some anonymous cute
he's a good friend.
Yeah. I have a similar story from college.
You just didn't want
college.
The guy pretended he was sleeping.
God damn, Norton.
I'm too tired.
You can't even defend yourself.
You just didn't want to take head off him because
my
you didn't want to fall in love with the
roommate
guy.
used to do acid, and he climbed in my bed one night and was kissing my back.
Oh.
Yeah, and I pushed him on the floor. Almost got in a fist fight with him, and we were like great friends and stuff. And he wasn't. This guy banged every broad on the campus.
Wow.
He's like real good looking.
He must have been hallucinating.
He
Like
loved his
crazy.
acid and shit, but I didn't talk to him for a couple months. I was so furious.
You have to.
And we're living in the same dorm room. That's not too fucking awkward, is it? But it's all smooth over nice now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
That's all, forgotten about, supposedly. Better forget about it.
If you want to see him, I got him pictures of him on MySpace in his bathing suit.